We'll start with an
Okay.
introduction. Okay. So
Perfect.
Denise, I seriously love you. We've worked together forever. We worked at the same salon. You were at a different location, but I just love how you branched off and you have created
Mm-hmm.
an amazing business where you really have found a service that you've honed in on and kind of created your own niche. So I just wanted to get together and talk to you about that today. I just wanted to talk about your business and like how you figured out
Awesome.
where you wanted to take your business and the actual story behind where you've actually created your whole business method and your systems.
Let's do it.
All right,
Fantastic.
cool.
Well, I don't know. Do you want me to tell you how the whole business started?
Yeah, let's talk about
Or
just tell your
yeah,
story.
how I came to do the whole buzzes and beehives. So I own buzzes and beehives, which is start by saying I just stop me. Anyhow, I started in school. I was in college for teaching, and I worked next door to a children's hair salon. When I was home on summer breaks, I worked next door to another salon, not a children's hair salon. And both owners kept coming over to me and telling me I needed to jump out of school and get into hair, which I thought was hilarious because biggest tomboy ever, didn't know how to do hair at all. I just couldn't see the fit, but I knew people. And I think that goes hand in hand with a niche business. You have to identify people that have a need that you can relate to. So eventually I decided, you're right. I want to go do hair. That looks way more fun. I'll never own a business though. I never want to own a salon. It's not going to happen. Fast forward about 15 years, and now I'm married with 2 kids. One of my daughters did have a little bit of sensory stuff going on. She wasn't too far down the line, but enough where I was really stressed going to a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or anything that was, kind of a little bit difficult for her. And I'm working at the salon. I loved my salon. I loved doing hair. I thought it was really fun. But I kind of knew I needed to do something different. And then my husband got really sick, couldn't work anymore. And I decided, well, heck, I'm going to go start a business where maybe we can kind of build something together where, we still have opportunities in our lives. So that's kind of how I realized I wanted to do a business. Obviously, if you're going to start a business, you go with what you know. And at this point, I've been doing hair for 15 years and I know hair, but I didn't want to open a normal salon. I don't even know how to call that, like a conventional salon.
Yeah, conventional.
That was really intimidating to me. We'll call it that's the word I always use. Oh, good. I didn't know if you were still there because I couldn't hear you.
I'm being very quiet.
But I knew, well, it's because I talk a lot. It's what I do. I'm a hairdresser. Yeah, but I knew I didn't want to do a conventional salon. It was really an overwhelming idea to me. And one day I brought my husband to the hospital. He had to do some testing, and it was going to be a long 4 hours of testing. So I went and got lunch, and I was watching, and this was really far from my house. Like I didn't know anything about this town. And I was watching a kids hair salon. I was watching patrons go in and out of this kids hair salon across the parking lot. And I promise you, I had a voice that told me, you need to go open a kids hair salon. This is what you're supposed to do. And so I did it. I mean, it was really that simple. I wish that this was like this dream that I had for years and years. It wasn't. It happened, and I think it was meant to be. So that's my story in a nutshell. And here we are 5 years later.
I love your story. I really do. And, you talk about how like your husband was like, he was sick and like you have a daughter with sensory issues. Most people would live in fear and be like, well, I need to stay where I am because if I take any more risks, like I don't want to risk any more like detrimental things to my family. But instead you're like, fuck it. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to try to better my life by taking a risk instead of sitting in
You
fear.
know, that's so funny. I was naive. I was
Mm,
completely naive. I wasn't, had I actually thought that far, Patty, you're probably right. I would have just um, been paralyzed by the fear. But I was actually more scared about not doing anything
right.
and realizing I hope my body lasts for the next 80 years because I have 4 people to support. I hope I don't hurt my wrist. I hope, nothing happens to me. Um, I don't know. For some reason, I didn't consider those things, which don't do that if you're going to start a business. Consider everything.
Right. I
But
think
I got
there
lucky.
has to be
Yeah.
some sort of like naiveness to open a business, because if it was all like fun and games, then I think everyone would be doing it, but it's crazy. Oh my gosh.
I,
Oh,
I guess it's true. And I guess if, oh,
okay. So we kind of found out like how you decided to open your business. Like, why do you feel like this is beneficial? Like having this niche and having like a specialty salon, like why is that beneficial to you and to your business and to the industry?
there's a lot of reasons it's beneficial. For me, I was really, really intimidated by the idea of doing a conventional salon. There's a lot of competition out there. I mean, you've tackled it,
Yeah.
and I mean, you're killing it. So you figured out how to forge your path there. But it's really hard, right? It's when
Mhm.
you have another salon on every corner. You have people that are willing to do similar services at a fraction of the cost. Now you have to manage that, try to compete with that, try to prove why I'm so much better or worth, you coming to me. And that was really something I don't think that I was up for. And for me, my heart wasn't there anymore. Now I had these kids, I have this daughter. Uh, I knew I needed to do something a little bit different just for own personal growth. Um, and oh, I had already started identifying, in the salon, that there was a definite need for compassion with kids. Whether it was my own personal experiences or watching stylists who were really aggravated with kids that were really struggling, or watching the moms that were, you know, really anxious because their kids were causing this huge scene in this adult area. Um, or even just, the little signs that are up in a lot of salons that say your kids aren't welcome here. They're usually worded nicer than that. Um,
We have one
or
of those
maybe
signs.
unless they're getting a service.
Right.
I'm sure it's worded very beautifully. But yeah, I knew that was a good path for me. I was like, okay, I think I understand and I have enough compassion, and understanding of that world. So that's where I'm gonna go with it.
I
That
feel
was
like
the niche.
I feel like you made a really good point too. Like a lot of stylists and salons are in competition with each other. And I think that's where they've done our industry an
Yeah.
injustice. So instead of just trying to set yourself apart from either like specializing in something or, um, like creating an amazing guest experience, instead they try to price cut each other. And I think that's why
Yeah.
our customers are always looking for a deal, because we've set that up as just an industry standard, which if we were to do the opposite, like put
Oh,
your
for
work in,
sure.
it would be so much better for our industry. And I think people would take us more seriously too. So
Oh, you're absolutely right. It kills me to see how undervalued so many stylists think that to see how little they think they're worth, and what they're willing to sell their services for. It's kind of heartbreaking.
it
But I
is.
mean, we deal with that even, we're allowed to, whenever you're in a target market like we are, you can price yourself a little bit higher. But still people think kids haircuts. Oh my gosh, I can get a kid's haircut, $8 at Great Clips. You probably can. But we're going to give you that extra value and try to set ourselves apart a little bit and specialize in the care for kids.
I love that you touched base on that. So, because this is one of the questions I have for you, because of that whole standard and because of the whole kids cut thing, like what are you doing to set yourself apart? Like, how do you create an experience for the tiny customers?
Well, oh my gosh, there's so much that goes into it. And that was a lot of these things I had to learn as I went through the process. You know, it starts right in the beginning. Parents they seek us out now. I mean, some just come because they want the cute chairs and they want the cute Instagram photo. I get that. That's fine. But then there's a whole another world, and that they're going to get a decent haircut, not just an $8. Now that you can't get a good haircut for $8, but not just let us just shave your head off and be done with it. So they'll call us and we tell them, bring your child in before you even come for a haircut. Let them play with our list. Just let's get a little familiar and start a relationship right from the get-go.
That's amazing.
We're obviously not going to charge you. Just come in. It's a big deal, especially for kids who are really intimidated by adults coming up to them and bright shiny tools that look really sharp and scary. Just let them be comfortable in our space first. So that's step one. Step two is we introduce ourselves. We play a little bit. We, try to get on their level with something, whether it's we're talking about the dinosaur on their shirt or, how was your day at school, whatever it is. We have the cute chairs. We have all the distractions, the movies, the video games, bubbles, all of that stuff. Most of the stylists that I hire are mothers. So let's be honest. Moms just know kids, right?
Yeah, they do.
And you have way more patience once you have your own. You're like, all right, I'll handle you. Like,
you
I
get
know
it.
what you need. You get it. It's just different. So most of us have kids. We have a little bit more patience. And then we are very knowledgeable of how to handle certain situations. So if a child is just going bananas and just being, inconsolable, we know, okay, their brain literally can't handle our reasoning right now. We need to stop and redirect. We need to not do hair right now. We need to play with bubbles. We need to do so. It's just having an understanding of what they're going through. And at the end of the day, I think the number one reason people are there, it's okay if your kids aren't handling it. If they're not having it, we don't care. So they're welcome there. They're not getting those looks like, what's that guy's looks?
The one thing that I love about you is because I've known you for so long, and seriously, your salon pops up in my Facebook feed all the time. All the time. No, it's
so
great.
Annoying.
No, it's not annoying. It's
God.
amazing because I'm like, fucking A, yeah, go Denise. That's amazing. Like if someone's like, oh, looking for recommendations and every single time you are there all the time. Or people's like kids getting their hair cut and they're posting their first pictures of their kids' haircuts and it's at your salon.
Awesome
like, it's amazing.
It obviously had me because all these people are around me, but it's not that. Fantastic. So what we're doing is working a little bit.
No, it's like definitely working. Like your just like your systems and what you're doing is like it's just working. Like people are doing your marketing for you because you're popping up in my feed. So and it's so organic. That's the thing. It's so organic. It's not even like it's a paid ad or you're doing something marketing wise. It's just people loving your business.
Hey, when you when you give people what they want, they'll do all the work for you.
That's so true.
It's
Like
that
so
simple.
true.
So true.
So, like, what tips do you have for someone who is either thinking about going into like a niche market or opening their own salon, but like specializing in something, or just like someone in the industry just in general?
So if we're talking salons, and you're gonna go into a specialty, you better be an expert in that field. I think it's really easy to see whatever the new big trend is and say, "Oh, well, I'll go do." I mean, there's classes everywhere for everything now. You can go on YouTube. I can find out in 20 minutes how to put in an extension, right? There's
Mhm.
no way I'm nearly as skilled as Patty at extensions because you've invested the time, the resources, the money, the energy to becoming a master at extensions. I'll do your extensions, but you're not going to like them very much. It's they're simple. So I had to become an expert at what children needed. That was actually like a huge learning curve for me. I thought I don't think I realized how much kids could struggle with haircuts. Because quite frankly, at my old salon, we got kids that struggled, but the kids who really, really struggled, they weren't going out for haircuts. Mom was trying to do them in the garage or whatever. And we had a woman come with her son who was very high on the autism spectrum, and he lost his shit. I mean, he was everywhere. And I had a pregnant stylist working on him. He wasn't trained by my own like poor submission there. She wasn't trained to handle this yet. And mom burst into tears and she just kept saying to me over and over again, I came to you because you're supposed to handle this. You're supposed to be able to do this. You're supposed to be able to do this. And I was like, she's so right. I am supposed to be able to do this. So know that if you're in a specialty, you're expected to know the ins and the outs. That is why they're there. That's why they're paying more. Know your stuff. Don't just go into it because it's a new ad on Instagram or because it looks cute. I know. So I run a kids hair salon page, like salon owners page, and I can't tell you how many of these owners don't know how to do hair, or they don't have kids. Like you can't run a kids hair salon and not know either of those things. You got to know your market. You got to be your market, and you have to be the expert.
That is such good advice. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
You're really, you're such a badass. Like you really are. Like I like look up to you all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, Denise is doing so good. She's so smart with everything.
Girl. Thank
I love it.
you. That's so. Oh my gosh, I'm so not. But
So congratulations on your new business
you.
venture.
Oh, on the ice cream truck?
Yeah.
Oh.
I love it.
Isn't that funny?
It's so
So that's
amazing.
something Josh is doing a little bit better with his health. So it's something for him to get out there and, start
That'll be fun.
making some money again in a really fun way.
All right. Yeah, no, we'll
I hear you
totally
now.
do that. That's amazing. I didn't even think about that. For weddings, everything.
Well, once I get my marketing up to code, oh yeah, it's an event based, like a dessert truck.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's gonna be really, really cute. And it's called Blondies.
Of course.
Tie in our hair world a little bit. But
Love it.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
This was like seriously so good. Such great content. So many amazing good tidbits. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I so appreciate it.
No, you're so great. You're so great. You're so.
Thank you so much. And then you should come do our live events. And then we'll catch up.
We'll do it. It sounds fantastic. I'll bring the ice cream truck.
Yes. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. I'll talk to you later, Denise.
And we're paused.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Patty.
Bye.